What's up, everybody? It's been a long time I've done a live Yankee video on the Sports Jedi Network, but let's go right into it. There's a lot of breaking news. Of course, we're going to talk about it all. We're going to have a little bit of hot stove Yankee talk. It's been a while. I kind of like to have a lot of substance to talk, a lot of different meats and sample on the plate, not just give you videos of nonstop gum flapping or clickbait. We're going to talk with some substance. So here we go. The New York Yankees acquired a closer and they made some moves, but let's rehash a little bit. I know everyone's sick about talking about the guy who left, number 22, Juan Soto. I made a video. I'm going to give you my thoughts briefly with Juan Soto. I want to hear from you guys. I want this to be a live stream where I can hear from everyone on all the different platforms. I want to make sure you hear your voice, let your voice be heard with me on this live stream here. But my thoughts on Juan Soto, listen, all the different reports, what's true, what's not true, what's embellished, what's being reported. You take it if it's facts or not. My theory is it seemed like Juan Soto did not want to play for the New York Yankees. It looks like and it's not about the money or he would have took less. No, the fact that Boris and Soto never went back to the Yankees for their best and final offer tells you he didn't want to play. Now, do we know if the Yankees were to match that or would have gave to his demands or his asking? We would never know. At the end of the day, he wanted to go with Cohen. He wanted to go play with the Mets. And all this stuff about family oriented. Look, the Yankees didn't give Aaron Judge a suite. And he has his wife, his father, his mother. Soto is like 30 family members that they're going to give a suite. Suite costs expensive. And it's not because of that, the Yankees not being frugal. No, it's those type of, I think they didn't want to be here because he wanted to ask for these ridiculous demands where he knew the Yankees weren't going to match it, and he could just go to the Mets. Listen, also, everyone talks about the Latin connection, and I know FAN dismissed it, and I'm going to go with it. There's a Latin connection with the Mets here, with Lindor. The majority owner, she's Hispanic. She's Puerto Rican. Cohen's wife is Hispanic. The owner is Hispanic. There's a family-oriented vibe there, and at the end of the day, Soto left for more money. At the end of the day, Soto got the money he wanted. He got paid the money, and I don't blame him. Make as much money as possible. The Yankees would have matched. They didn't give him the final offer. He didn't want to come back. That's that. We'll move on. Good luck to Juan Soto with the New York Mets. But then the Yankees pivot. I love the way the Yankees pivot, and I want to hear your thoughts. The Yankees immediately get a pitcher in Max Fried. Some people are complaining about the 8 years, 200 plus million. If you break down the AVA, the annual value is $27 million for a left-handed pitcher in the Yankee Stadium with Death Valley. That's a great bargain. That's a bargain deal for the New York Yankees. I know $27 million is a lot, but for a left-handed who's had World Series implication, who has pitched in the World Series, who have won, who is a ground ball pitcher, who is left-handed, who neutralized the short porch, all that stuff, you build your ball. If you saw my video that I had about a week ago or so, I said you need left-handed pitching. You need to get players to accommodate your ballpark. The Yankees are going to be a very good team, and they're going to have postseason games in Yankee Stadium. You need players to fit the bill, to build correctly around your team. And they get Max Fried. They give that extra year, but that extra year is to get them away from the Red Sox. Now, we saw the Red Sox get Garrett Crochet. That's a nice move for them to get Garrett Crochet. Look, the Yankees didn't have the prospects supposedly, or maybe they weren't in on Garrett Crochet, and the Red Sox capitalized on it. You can't get everyone. I like the fact that we got Max Fried, a veteran, strong pitcher. The one thing that Garrett Crochet makes me raise an eyebrow, he's young. He's 25 years old, and I don't want to hear the nonsense that the White Sox in 2 years they're not ready to win. Now they're not ready to win for the next 2 years. But when you have a stud pitcher and a Garrett Crochet, why would you move? Why you have an anchor for your pitching staff? Why would you move him to Boston? Why would you move him? Period. Where you're trying to rebuild, and the front office can't be that inept. That they're in the city of Chicago, that they're going to give Crochet to the Red Sox with a little bit of a history injury, with him kind of worries me. So in a way, we kind of dodged a bullet that we ended up getting Max Fried. At the end of the day, so I like that move by the New York Yankees. Now today, they made a couple moves. They signed the young Dominican kid out of shortstop, 17-year-old. They also helped add some more money in the international signing pool, which now we're talking about the young Japanese phenom that is available. Could the Yankees possibly bring him to pitch? All the indications now tells me that there's more moves coming around. They've been linked to Kyle Tucker, although Kyle Tucker seems like he's heading, according to John Heyman, it looks like the Cubs are getting rapidly close to acquiring a Kyle Tucker. I don't know if the Astros and the Yankees were going to be a good matching partner to make deals with one another, with the animosity, the lack of business is business at the end of the day, but there's still a little animosity, a little spike between those two organizations to make that deal. I was going to be, surprised that they would have made a deal, but if Kyle Tucker goes to the Cubs, man, I would have liked to gotten Kyle Tucker in left field. He could steal bases, he could play defense, he could throw, he could hit with contact, all-star for the Astros. Not a lot of contact hitting, not a lot of swing and miss stuff. But then that opens up Bellinger possibility. But let's talk about the trade. The Yankees acquired themselves a closer today in Devin Williams, a name that the Yankees have been coveted or looking for or been linked to him last season. It's not going to break the bank for the New York Yankees, $8.6 million. I believe he's going to go to arbitration, if I'm not mistaken. I think he already had gone to arbitration. So he's going to be under $10 million. That's a good move for the Yankees. $27 million for Fried, another, say $35 million. They were willing to go up to 51 or 47 for Juan Soto. It tells you that the Yankees got about another $17 to $20 million for the season that they would like to add. That's the way I look at it. The AVA, I'm not looking at the long-term contract. I'm talking about for the way the Yankees want to operate. That there's a lot of questions here. I understand for Devin Williams. What's your thoughts there? We ended up trading away that second baseman, Caleb Duran, who was lining it up in the Winter League. Nestor Cortez goes on in that deal. Now the Yankees are trading with some strength because they end by the Max Fried. Just think of the rotation, guys, for the Yankees. You're gonna have Garrett Cole, you're gonna have Carlos Rodon, Max Fried. That's three major league pitchers. And listen, I'm not a big Rodon fan myself. I'm not gonna sit here and be hypocritical that I love Rodon. I'm not too keen on Rodon, but that's three major league pitchers along with Clark Schmidt. Luis Gil, who just won the Rookie of the Year. That's four strong pitchers with Marcus Stroman, who can eat innings back of the bullpen. If you're asking, Marcus Stroman to be your fifth starter, you're not in a bad position, guys. And if the Yankees do get the young Japanese player, he doesn't have to come here with a lot of expectation where he has to be a number 2 or number 3. He could ease his way into this rotation. Keep him. You could actually have him start in the minor leagues if you want to, get acclimated to some innings under his belt, see what they have in the minor league system. Then you can bring him up in case needed, first arm that's needed in case of, hopefully not, knock on wood, a minor injury where you need a spot to start. You bring the kid up, and then if he shows prominence, you keep him in the major league level, and then off you go, for the New York Yankees. I like the fact that we didn't. Yeah, listen. Again, I'm not going to diminish that Juan Soto was a very important piece. He's a generational talent. What he did to the Yankees, he helped them propel into the World Series. Absolutely. There's not going to diminish what he had in 2024. And I'm glad that I didn't do a lot of watch-alongs because I didn't get emotionally invested in Juan Soto. So maybe I'm coming from a rigid part where I'm not invested in the season this year with Soto leaving. I appreciate that he got the Yankees to the World Series. They were relevant this summer. We got over a hurdle that we haven't gotten in over 13 plus years. It's to the World Series. We would have liked to win it. But for Juan Soto to leave, we didn't. Just think about it, Yankee fans. I understand this is going to sound like, oh, you're talking on both sides of your mouth. And I want to be clear about it. It might sound like it, maybe it's not. But if we would have kept Soto on this team, you had Judge playing out of position again in center field. There's nothing wrong with Judge in center field, despite the fact the last memory you have of Aaron Judge is him dropping that fly ball in the fifth inning of the World Series. I understand that. But he's out of position. Now with Now you have to get yourself a center field. If they get trade for Bellinger, you put Bellinger in center field. You have Judge play in his natural position in right. And then you can have Dominguez play left. I understand some people don't like Dominguez, that he's a butcher, yada, yada. You got to know what you have in Dominguez. If you're not trading Spencer Jones either, you have to see if he's another one who could possibly win the left field job or the center field job. You have to also try to use your young assets, your young kids that you're developing, especially when you're investing money in the salary and not in a luxury tax threshold what the Yankees are right now. So in order the Yankees to acquire good players, the younger players in their minor league system have to play. They have to play. They have to get developed. Volpe, they're saving money on a shortstop in Volpe. The jury's still out. I said it before my last video with Volpe. If he's going to be a bona fide shortstop that do we have to pivot and look for a shortstop in the near future? I'm still 50-50 near him. Austin Wells quietly become a really good defensive catcher. Yes, I wish he could cut down on the strikeouts, but he was third in the American League rookie finalist. It tells you that the Yankees got, and again, one thing that I want to bring out to light, if you hear the press conference, and of course, they're going to say that to make it appealing. He's not going to say anything to tell the Mets, well, I got the most money, and he's going to sound like a money-hungry pig. But for Juan Soto to say that the Yankees or the Mets have a better chance of building a dynasty, I beg the difference. When is the last time the Mets actually ever made back-to-back playoff appearances, let alone having a dynasty? That dynasty in the 80s they only won one championship, and they fizzled out. So for him to say that, just say that you got the most money. And I'm not going to be harping about the Mets versus Yankee thing. Steve, Cohen is just spending money. It doesn't mean you guarantee to win anything. Look at Steve Ballmer, who has spent so much money in the NBA with the Clippers. He's got oodles of money. And the Clippers, when have you seen them in the NBA Finals? You have. The Lakers won a title before, and they haven't been so great. And Steve Ballmer's still chasing his tail, spending money and trying to get the Clippers going. Some franchises, unfortunately, are the Clippers, are the Browns, are the Jets, are the Mets. And the Yankees are like those type of darling franchises. Now, the Yankees doesn't mean just because you have this beautiful unlucky NY, you're going to win the World Series or it's your birthright to be. You have to put in the work. And the Yankees right now, if you're looking at this hot stove, and I want to hear from you guys. I got a lot of viewers. Please, guys, don't be silent. I know you're giving me a chance to talk, but I want you to be part of the program to have this conversation with me. If you're on X, go on, come on in. I could read all the X questions as well. If you're on YouTube, if you're on all the different with Rumba, Trubo, Kick, so come on in. We'll definitely want to hear from you guys. It's a two-way conversation. So back to what we were talking about with the Yankees here and the little brother, big brother situation. Look, the Yankees are going to be okay. They have to develop. And I love the move they're doing. They're showing that they're interested in getting back to the World Series. They got the fan base invested, invigorated. They also need to sell jerseys. It's a business. I hate to say this, guys. It's a business. No, now they made oodles of money with selling 22 jerseys. The Juan Soto jersey was very popular. Aaron Judge coming off of MVP. He was the league MVP, regardless of the fact if Soto was in the lineup or not. He still hit. And unfortunately, he ran out of gas or the pitchers made adjustment. Those are World Championship pitchers that made the proper adjustments to the league MVP. That's the way I see it. I'm not going to go harping that Judge fizzled out in the postseason in the World Series when the lights were brighter, but he was carrying this franchise to get to the World Series. Good thing that Giancarlo Stanton helped out hitting, and for that means the Yankees got to now make work. They have to find themselves a second base. I know Gleyber Torres isn't returning to this team. It doesn't look like Gleyber Torres will be coming back to the Yankees. Till they do, it's got to be on a really short-term deal. It has to be on a really short-term deal for Gleyber Torres to return, a 1-year, 2-year deal. I don't see it happening. I think he's young enough where a team will give him a 3-year deal. What do you do now? Do you move Chisholm to third? Back from out of third to second place? I personally would love to see Josh Chisholm play second base rather than third. He is a natural second baseman. You know what? Let him play his natural position. We're talking about the first base situation. Do they bring Bellinger? Do you sign Christian Walker for a short-term deal? Pete Alonso's name has been out there. He's interested. He'll be interested if the Yankees offer him a contract. How much would you give a Pete Alonso? He's really not going to shore your defense. He's going to be a power hitter, but he's a right-handed power hitter in Yankee Stadium, where Death Valley, it's a lot of home runs get lost in Yankee Stadium. I understand he hit that opposite field home runs against Devin Williams, out of all people, in the postseason. Do you bring in a Pete Alonso? Now, I don't want this to be to spite the Mets. We'll take Alonso. It's got to make baseball sense. If you get him in a contract where he's going to approve it deal, then go for it. Look, Michael Conforto should have went back to the Mets. The Yankees flirted on it. The Giants picked them up on a short-term deal. I would like the Yankees to try to. I'm using that name if the Yankees could get a contract that Conforto got for the Giants. It didn't kill the Giants too much financially, and he did play very well for the Giants. If we could get an approval for Pete, that would be a nice pickup. But if not, then you got to let him. You got to find someone, to play these positions. Some of your kids, I don't know, Ben Rice. I don't know if he's going to get traded. Was he the solution at first base? I don't really think he was. But you still got to find out what you have in your minor league system. If you're a Yankee fan right now today, I kind of feel good about this team, despite losing Juan Soto. Yes, that production from Juan Soto is going to be missed, but I kind of feel okay. We still have the American League MVP. We got pitching. Last time I saw pitching wins, pitching and defense. That's the one thing that got me a little bit uncomfortable as we speak here on the 13th of December. The defense, the Yankee defense, is the one thing that's kind of a little bit worries me, because I don't know who's going to be up the middle. I don't know. I know it's Volpe, and I don't know who, and I know it's Wells. Young core pieces to build. I don't know who's my second baseman off the diamond, and I don't know who's my center field right now. Even if we put Judge, I'm not going to be overly worried with Judge in center field. I just don't want the wear and tear of wearing down for an Aaron Judge in center field. That's a lot of cover. That's a lot of territory to cover in your home ballpark in Yankee Stadium. He's up for it. He's a hell of an athlete, but he's also 31 years old. He's also in his 30s. And he's a hell of an athlete, takes care of himself, class act, all that good stuff. I know you have Grisham still on his team, but if you're playing a lot of Grisham, you really got to be an offensive juggernaut, or you really got to pitch. The Yankees got the pitching for it, and they're getting their bullpen in order. Devin Williams now, he could either be the setup or the closer. Now Weaver's your setup man. No Clay Holmes. So everyone now, all the ire, all the dislike of Clay Holmes, he's out of here. He's the Mets issue. He's going to be a starter. Now and one thing I do give Cashman a lot of kudos, and Mike Harkey as the bullpen coach, and Matt Blake as the pitching coach. They do know how to get the best, get the relievers and those arms ready to go for the Yankees. You see them year after year. Their bullpen has been really one of the good ones. Really, sometimes I even criticize they get overused too much, but that's their strength. I trust this organization to find those kind of pitchers and bring those arms in for the bullpen. Now you got some starters. We'll see. Right now they got some good arms. They're pitching. They're going to have good hit there. Hopefully they have some good hittings. Personally, if I had a wish list, and I don't think it's going to happen, Yankee fans, my wish list, and I know some people don't like him, I wouldn't mind Luis Arraez at third base. I would love to get Luis Arraez, that contact hitter. You put him and Grisham, him and Chisholm, both of them in that lineup. It takes away, if Volpe gets on base, you could steal. You got a contact hitter in the rise who can move on the top of the lineup, a leadoff hitter that can move a Volpe, be stealing bases, the hit and run situation, or Jack Chisholm as well. You got some team speed. You got to get back to some baseball fundamentals. You're not always going to wait around for the 3-run shot. You also got to make things happen. You got to put other teams' defense on their toes. You got to also have a balance of combination of hitting. That's why I would have loved for Kyle Tucker, and it's still not a done deal. They're getting close. I would have loved the Yankees to get a Kyle Tucker. Maybe they go after him in free agency next year. Maybe the trade or the move or the dealings between the Yankees and the Astros are not nowhere near to be cordial for one another. The Cubs got a lot of money too, but maybe he'll see the Yankees wanting him. Maybe we'll do short term on the outfielders where they're keeping an eye for a Kyle Tucker. Maybe we'll end up getting Bellinger, who could play center and first. Go with Dominguez to win the position in left field, and you have some Grisham as his late inning the replacement. You're still going to need another outfielder. You also got a couple players on the team that you could play in the outfield, and maybe you go after Tucker after the year when he becomes a full out free agent. Don't know. Also, you got to be careful when you want to sign a lot of these free agents because you lose draft picks. And you got to be careful. You just can't spend ubers of money. I love the fact the Williams deal. You're not gonna lose any draft picks. You lost Cortez, so forth. I love what the Yankees are doing here right now. It's not. I know the plan B isn't a bad plan B that we expected. You expected the worst if the Yankees would have not signed Soto. You're like, damn, who the hell there is? It wasn't as sexy, but as you look at the team, how the way it's orchestrated, it's nice and solid. Austin writes, also, I feel good about Fried signing and Williams trade. Fried has the best ERA out of the starting pitchers in the last 5 years, 500 inning minimum. Plus Williams' ability to be the best closer. Yes, he's an all-star closer. The Yankees, when you think of the Yankees and their dynasty, even before they went to the dynasty in the 90s, you always had a guy at the end of the bullpen. It was either Dave Regretti, Steve Farr, Steve Howell. I know Howell will make people cringe when I say that name, but you have Steve Farr, wasn't so John Wetland, Mariano Rivera, Flash Gordon, Sariano for a year. They had the guys to close the game. Lately, just the last year, Clay Holmes came out of nowhere. He fizzled out a little bit, but they always had a name to fill that void. Now Williams is going to fill that void for the Yankees, hopefully for the next 3 to 4 years until they bring another closer up. And also, you saw that Weaver is capable of doing that as well. So you got to feel the 1-2 punch for the New York Yankees. You got to feel happy on that. You take a lead, you have a 1-2 punch that could close the game out in either or. And now it's just the bench pieces. Now you have to put the team around on the field. Again, I want to be strong defensively. I want to know when 2025 New York Yankees, I want to know that they could pick it, they could defend, and they could pitch. And they have the monster hitters in Judge, Stanton, Chisholm, and so forth. And hopefully Volpe, not third year in the major league. He's more comfortable. He understands how to get his body ready. He could get going. He could get acclimated to the ins and outs, and he's ready to go. He starts excelling as a baseball player for Anthony Volpe. Plus, Fried has won championship. Championship experience matter. Always felt that bringing guys in. Of course, the 70s, they had Lyle Gossage. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Lyle and Gossage. Yankees, and they've got into Rigetti. So the Yankees always known for having that closer at the end of the game. That's something that they always had a staple. One thing that the Yankees have not had in quite some time. You could say you could probably up to memory Mark Teixeira, a first baseman. They haven't had a first baseman who could pick it, who's been an anchor at first base year after year. Rizzo was okay. I personally, I'm going to say it here on the stream live. And I said it before, I was wrong with Rizzo. I wanted Rizzo. I didn't think Freeman was going to come to New York. And I know the first baseman from the A's, I know guys wanted him so bad. And I was like, I don't know, from the Oakland Athletics. And now he's tearing it apart there. I kind of wanted Rizzo because he was a platinum winning first baseman. Of course, for some reason, he never gave us that defensive prowess there, and the injuries and all that stuff with Rizzo was okay. It wasn't a great Anthony Rizzo stay in New York. It wasn't a bad one. It wasn't a terrible one. He didn't turn into Donaldson. He was okay. Then Luke Voigt wasn't something to write home about. He was just a masher. But when a time came for the postseason, he just turned into a pumpkin. It wasn't. He was good, but he just didn't have that clutch gene, in my opinion, for Luke Voigt. And they're missing a first. They haven't. You always thought about the Yankees. You think about their tradition at first base, from Garrett to Manning, from Teixeira, Tino, Giambi. They haven't gotten a first baseman now. Do they go for Pete? I don't really. Again, I don't want it to seem like we're being vindictive to take Pete Alonso from the New York Mets. You know how if the Yankees were really being vindictive, I'm gonna be telling you, I'm gonna be totally honest. If they really wanted to be vindictive with the Mets, and this is against the Mets, you go get Jose Iglesias. You have him come sing "Oh My God" in New York. Then for the Yankees, I have him play the utility role. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking and kidding. And Iglesias is an older guy. He's just off the bench. For that, no, we got our own guys that could come off the bench, that could play multiple positions. But Pete Alonso, guys, do you have any interest in the Pete Alonso for the Yankees? If he was left-handed, yes. But he's a right-handed hitter who he batted 235. Yes, he's a masher. Would he get motivated to play in New York on a one-year deal? You know what? Back on the Yankees, you know what? Yes. But I don't know if he's going to get a one-year deal. I know there's a major league club that will probably give him two. Plus, you got Guerrero, first baseman, in next year as a free agent. Although he says he will never play for the Yankees. But you know what? Money talks, bullshit walks. And if there's a contract out there for $500 million for him. He and no one else, or the Yankees give him that, he's there. Tucker's off the board. So Tucker goes to the Cubs, Justin. All right, so breaking news as we talk here. Tucker is off the board. So Kyle Tucker's off the board, so not going to the Yankees. So Justin, if he doesn't sign a contract extension, that means the Yankees have an opportunity for him at the free agency next winter. Now he'll be 28 years old, but he's still a 28-year-old in Yankee Stadium who can play the outfield and he has a good year with some speed. That's a name that's being enticed for the New York Yankees. But right now we can't worry about that. He's off the board. He's not going to come to the Yankees. So now the Yankees got to pivot. They got to find a left fielder. I don't like Teoscar Hernandez. I kind of liked him 2 years ago. As of right now, I'm not big on Teoscar Hernandez. I think he's kind of a little bit on the back nine. If the Dodgers did not return him back and got Conforto, it tells you something there. Some of the left fielders out there, Tyler O'Neill, best option there. You've got Santander. I know the Yankees been mentioned to him or linked to him. Doesn't excite me either. Alex Verdugo, he's not returning back to the Yankees. I don't think you guys want him back. He didn't have a good year at all. There's not a lot of center fielders out there at all. Harrison Bader, been there, done that. Nobody wants Hicks. He's going to be working at Wendy's pretty soon. That's it. I really don't see any other outfielders out there that really entice the New York Yankees. I saw there's Matt Kepper. I remember that. He's 32 years old. Jock Peterson, another name out there. Bellinger for left. Bellinger's going to play center, Justin. If the Yankees make the move for Bellinger, he'll be playing center field. You want to take Judge and keep him in right and keep Bellinger in center. And you could play him at first base from time to time as well. He's a first baseman as well. Well, that's where I would like Bellinger. I would have loved to have Bellinger to play first base, Justin, to be totally honest and frank with you. And I would like, but they say, Dominguez isn't a real good center fielder. So that's an issue. You got to have your best outfielder and center who could cover ground, who could cover from right to left. Especially Yankee Stadium, such a big outfielder. Your right and your center and left fielder have to cover a lot of ground. And again, you really need some guys to cover ground. Again, I'm not opposed to Verdugo returning. I know Yankee fans did not like him or did not. I kind of thought he was a good defensive outfielder. I know he made one play comes up and sticks with you. You remember the negativity or the errors, but I kind of like the Verdugo's defense. I wish he would hit more to want you to bring him back. You put me Verdugo with Bellinger in center with Judge. And of course, then I don't know who's going to play first base. That's the issue, or Dominguez. But Dominguez is not a good outfielder, supposedly. I don't know. I still think guys could improve defensively. It didn't hurt having, Soto wasn't good defensively in right field, but he made it work. He made it work. There's other ways of making things work. cutting the baseball off. Maybe you might not get to every ball out in the outfield, but if you know how to cut the ball, and keep it a single instead of a double, all that stuff. I mean, Soto made that play. I remember opening series against the Astros. He gunned the guy out at second base. We need kind of player that could play that, in center field or in left field. We'll find out there. So right now we know that Tucker's off the board. Damn, that sucks. I kind of was when I didn't expect Tucker was going to be out there for the Astro shopping him, and then when that name came up, I started imagining Tucker playing in the Yankees because his swing left field. And I made it on the video before. I said, that kind of Kyle Tucker's impact. And I hate to compare people from the past to the current players because every person's is their own individual. But it would have been kind of like bringing a Paul O'Neill to Yankee Stadium. Tucker would have been that type of player who has that. He could go. He's contact hitter who could go the opposite field like O'Neill, but he also, when he needs to go to the short porch, Paul O'Neill could take advantage of that. And I thought personally, my Tucker would have really benefited Yankee Stadium's his swing, and his bat would have benefited Yankee Stadium to that. And I kind of wanted that one. Alex Bregman is the third baseman out there. And I'm hearing a lot of mixed report. Yankees were interested, not interested. I made on my other video earlier. That same video, I also said Bregman would be like bringing in a Wade Boggs, changing the approach of the plate, maybe. But what I didn't take into consideration, how much was it? The trash can banging or the cheating allegation was part of that. But after they were discovered, he still had a hell of a season. He still played well. He's still a good contact hitter. My problem is with Bregman at the age that he's at, you'll probably get a couple. You probably get a couple good seasons. Then he'll turn, and I'm afraid he'll turn into a DJ LeMahieu. You still got LeMahieu on this team, by the way, which I know a lot of people think he's cooked. Maybe he's a full year of health. Maybe he gets healthy this off season and comes back and have a comeback player of the year type of deal, or pleasantly surprised he'll be a serviceable player. I didn't like Rodrigo. A lot of times he didn't hustle when he made contact. Okay, no problem. Again, I didn't do the Yankee games this year a lot, so I wasn't emotionally invested the way I normally do year in, year out with the Yankees watch-alongs. So I didn't watch a lot of the Verdugos play, or thankfully, I didn't get the emotional investment to Juan Soto where he leaves and it just rips my heart out of my chest because I kind of wanted Soto on the Yankees for many years, and I was excited for it, and for other reasons why I didn't do the Yankees this year, for too busy, just to leave it at that. And I like the fact that we're trying to get better. They're not sitting on their hands, Yankee fans. They're not Cashman, Steinbrenner, Howe. It's not penny pinching. He's willing to make some money. Look, I think his investors said if we're gonna make money, you have to spend money. Hopefully that's the mentality that they have. They don't have to be foolish spenders, but they have to invest money to make money, and it's showing us that. Allowing Brian Cashman to do what Brian Cashman does. Yes, he didn't get the big fish. They didn't get Soto. But again, when I opened up the video here a few minutes ago, I'm going to repeat it again. Soto didn't want to be a Yankee. He used every excuse out there to, for the fact that you don't have the Yankees to make their final and best offer, or see the last offer and try to match it and have them verbally say, no, good luck, we can't afford you, or we capped out, tells me he didn't want to be here. He didn't want to sign. And also, as more reports come out, totally did not contact any of his teammates on the Yankees. No Judge, didn't talk to anyone. And yeah, that's so. John tells us, is the Yankees getting Bellinger? They're in on it. They're conversating, John. They're having a John Heyman, the baseball insider on Major League Baseball, has been tweeting, has been saying, and that's a source I could trust. It's not the copy and paste other folks that you look at and they make things up, or they want you to clickbait their shows. No, I watch either, if it's not for Jeff Passan, John Heyman, John Flaherty, and others from the New York Yankee organization, I could hear their gospel. But when he's saying that they're really close, he had the story that Tucker was close to the Cubs, and it's coming out. So when I hear those guys, I'll definitely know it's a lot of substance. Right now, the Yankees are in Bellinger. It helps the Cubs if they got Tucker to get Bellinger out of the payroll. The Yankees, have him off the team. The Yankees could absorb, and he could fit the Yankees. Bellinger also, don't forget, Bellinger his father was a former Yankee. I know that doesn't mean much. Each individual is their own man, but that also kind of ignites a little bit. Former Yankee, he's going to get greeted with a little bit of a fanfare. He might be the next popular player. It could be a double-edged sword because now people are going to think that he's going to try to produce like a Juan Soto, which he's not. It's not that type of player, although he was close to MVP a couple years ago with the Dodgers, so forth. But Bellinger's swing, he could get a resurgence with that swing. So Yankees offense is horrible. Imagine going to the playoffs with Judge stinking it up the place. Big man, I'm disgusted with this team. Give it time. It's not the finished product right now. The Yankee is not a finished product. I get it. I understand you're worried about the Judge. But listen, I said this before. Judge was playing center field out of his position. Yankee Stadium is a really big outfield to cover ground from left. And yes, Bernie Williams did that. He was a natural center fielder. Judge was a natural center fielder coming up in college. But it wears down. You got to give him. You have to give him the benefit of the doubt. I understand that you want Judge to be that MVP, but Stanton kind of made up for Judge's MVP role in the postseason. And Stanton was a very clutch hitter for the Yankees, where we wasn't expecting Stanton to be that kind of player. I understand your concern, and I appreciate the comment on that, and I understand that. Also, Volpe's got a hit. And is it encouraging they hit a grand slam in the World Series? Absolutely. And he knows he can hit in a big stage. I'm hoping he has a better resurgence here coming up. Austin Wells, he was third, and those are young kids, third in the MVP. Another year in the major leagues. He's gonna get better. Jason Dominguez is sink or swim if he's going to play for the New York Yankees. I know the injury bug has hurt him 2 years in a row. Now he's got to find out, or he's going to turn into, Clint Frazier or the rest of the prospects that ends up not. Andujar has not really panned out. He's got to show us something. When do you think the Bellinger news will come out? It's got to, John. I think this is going to happen. If I'm guessing, it's going to happen. It's going to happen before, maybe by Tuesday or Monday, because the Cubs want to make a move. I don't see the Cubs keeping both Tucker and Bellinger on this team. I don't see that unless the Bellinger gets moved elsewhere other than the Yankees, if they can't come to an agreement. But then the Yankees been linked so much to Bellinger, hot and heavy. I'll be surprised if they don't really have anything in place, a deal in place already, if they would have gotten the Tucker sweepstakes. So we'll find out how that goes there. Let me refresh here let me refresh Twitter to see what's on the trending, because that's the way we get the news. And we're all together watching this together and reacting. And I love that. We have that, I want to hear from you. Well, let's talk about it. That's why I say let's talk about it. So Kyle Tucker to the Cubs. Let's see what was acquired. I want to see what prospects and what was acquired. Have acquired Tucker trades done with Houston. The deal is done. And Austin says, I think Bellinger to the Yankees is most likely. The Cubs got Tucker. Plus, I think Bellinger has won a championship, MVP in the mid-market. He's a Gold Glover. I believe he could do it. Well, I believe he played for the Dodgers. He wasn't that bad. All right, here we go. I got their trade. So the Cubs just get Kyle Tucker. They unload 3 players to the Astros. Isaac Corrales. Isaac Corrales is a good. You remember him from the Tampa Bay Rays. Pretty good infielder. Cam Smith and Hayden Wolanowski. Now, the Yankees were linked to Kyle Tucker before, and also Bellinger, and there was another player on the Cubs that the Yankees were linked to, but I don't think it's going to happen now that Nestor Cortez is gone. So I don't know if they'll give up another starting pitcher. I will not trade Luis Gil or Clark Schmidt in the Bellinger deal, regardless of the fact at all. I would not move neither one of those guys. Definitely not. For Kyle Tucker, yes. I would have liked to take if they would have moved Clark Schmidt over Heel. I think Heel has a better upside. If you're, and I don't want to move any of the young pitchers. Again, I don't want to move none of the young kid pitchers. There are guys that we develop. The one thing I'm going to be honest with you, I was a little afraid if we would have traded Luis Heel for Kyle Tucker, and then Tucker does what happened this year, 1 year rental, and you lose now 2 years in a row, you lose two young starting pitchers. You Michael King. Just think of where we would have been with Michael King. I don't think Max Fried would have been signed if you would have had Michael King on this team. But then you would have not gotten to the World Series. I know we're going to go in circles, but you don't want to lose your young players 2 years in a row, two young pitchers 2 years in a row because they don't grow on trees. They're hard to develop. They're hard to bring up for a King. And also, if you lose Heel, if you would have lost Heel and Kyle Tucker doesn't re-sign with the Yankees, for some reason he doesn't like the big market. He's a small market type of guy, but he got traded because he had no control, plays here for a year and bails out. You never know with these players. You never know. So to lose a starting pitcher, you want to say we kind of dodge a bullet. We didn't have to lose Luis Heel. Okay, that's fine. I give you that. So I'm trying to give you the silver lining or the other side of the coin, like they say, for not making that move for Tucker. Now, you can always get Tucker at the end of the year. Again, when he becomes a free agent, if he doesn't sign a contract extension with the Cubs. So that's another thing that the Yankees wanted. They wanted to get a negotiating window. If they were going to give up top prospects or really good players, they wanted an opportunity to at least have a contract extension, and he wasn't willing to. So in a way, we dodged a bullet. Again, Astros and Yankees, that was going to be a tough partner to deal with. So, all right. So let me give you a little bit. The Caleb Durham, the young man that kind of caught the Yankees' eye in the winter ball. Of course, he has a unique profile. He's 5'6", plays everywhere, second, third, shortstop, center field, has incredible bat-to-ball skill. That's a big one, man. I know they're giving him a lot of encouragement. Good contact hitter, bat-to-ball skill. He played 1,216 minor league games. He's 269, 274, 407, and 134 walks, 111 strikeouts, and had 110 stolen bases. A high floor ceiling guy for the Brewers. This guy could be like their version of like a poor man's Altuve or Dustin Pedroia, if Caleb Durham. But you have to give something to get something in the game of baseball. You gave up that kind of prospect, and an Nestor Cortez. You're giving them a pitcher, an arm, to get an all-star closer. So you have to play, you have to give to play. And that's how the Yankees, that's how the system works, especially when you're going against the New York Yankees. Every team wants to seem to fleece the New York Yankees. Also, the Brewers are getting an all-star left-hander, regardless of the fact of his season last year. Cortez, in his resume, has an all-star appearance. So you're giving an all-star, a lefty, by the way, to Milwaukee. So Milwaukee, I mean, they didn't give you a all-star closer. They got something back in return for their closer. I mean, some people might say a little too rich, but hey, you got to give something to give something. All right, guys. So what else do you want to give a conversation here? What's your thoughts here? Where do you want? I want to hear from you guys that are watching us on YouTube. This is a two-way talk. Please, let's have this conversation, and let's talk about what's going on with what do you want next for the Yankees here? The young left-handed, the young Japanese pitcher. Let's talk about him. I'm not a big, again, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not a big fan of the Japanese ball player. I'm going to be honest with you. To me, I don't think they come back with over-exaggerated hype. And the one real player, to be honest with you, is Shohei Ohtani, and he's a designated hitter. I've got my reserves on that. That's just me as a baseball purist or a baseball fan. Not a big fan of them. I think they come here with too much hype. They're not a transcendent type of player or players to transcend the team. They're part of a good tertiary complementary to win me baseball. Even my own for my Hideki Matsui was good, but to me he wasn't that type of transcending. He was good in the team that he was in. But again, from all the hype and all the money and all the pomp and circumstances they come with from Japan, they never live up to the billing, in my opinion. But I am intrigued with this kid. that's coming from that's available. Rocky Sasaka. I wanted to see what is it. He's young, but here's the one thing: I'm always skeptical. I'm always raising an eyebrow. Why is he coming so young from Japan, where they normally don't allow them to come from Japan? I understand, and plus he wanted to leave. The Japanese media was a little too harsh. There's a lot of reports that he might be wanting to go to a small market team because he didn't like the way he was treated with the Japanese media. So that's when it kind of worries me a little bit, the New York media. But he could get away through that with an interpreter where, he's not, the Joe Shermans of the world isn't going to drive him crazy. He could get away with that until he learns the language, of course. But I'm interested in seeing him because it's not going to cost too much money. It's a couple in signing bonus, and to bring him on here to see what he has. Again, he doesn't have to put that pressure of being an ace or number two. He could easily fit into a number four starter and ascend up. Kind of like a little bit like Kodai Senga. Kodai Senga, again, right now he's the Mets ace, but when he started, he was like a number three, and then he was pleasantly elevated. I kind of would like to see that with the Yankees, with the young man from Japan. We'll see if he chooses the Yankees. Again, now let me ask this question. Speaking of choosing the Yankees, we're hearing a lot of the narrative. It's not going to the Yankees, zero chance. Hey, I'm with you. I don't think he's going to the Yankees either. I think he wants a smaller market. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the San Diego Padres, closer to on the West Coast, to Japan, or you never know. Seattle Mariners. They have a strong relationship with the ownership and with the Japanese players. They, Ichiro Suzuki, of course, or wouldn't be surprised a team out of nowhere like an Arizona Diamondbacks. They were in the World Series 2 years ago. They're a pretty good ball club. They could convince him to go there. Don't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. He's going to the Dodgers or the Padres. I mean, let's see. It would be nice if he goes to the Anaheim Angels. Boy, they could use a pitcher for that miserable franchise, but we'll see. Don't be surprised at the Athletics. They signed Severino. They're actually spending money. Something that we didn't think. They move out of Oakland and they decided they're going to spend money. That's shocking there. But we'll see on that there. And I get you. I get that. Suzuki, and I'm with you. I don't think he's coming to the Yankees. I don't think right now. That's why I was going to bring the next question. Here's the next question I'm going to ask. Did the Yankees pinstripe lore has diminished in Major League Baseball? Or are we as fans of the New York Yankees overvalue the luster or the Yankee pinstripe aura? I think if you don't win, the longer you don't win, the longer it diminishes your stature and value. You can't go on forever talking about 27 world championships. You have to start winning. One thing about the Lakers currently right now, they could say that they're the model. They haven't won an NBA title. It's going to be like 4 years, but they won it recently. They've been champions. They have the best player in the world, LeBron James, still, but they've won. When you haven't won over a decade, you start losing your flair, your shine, your luster. That's they haven't gotten Bellinger yet. Chris, what's going on, Chris? Salute, Chris. He's at work. And did the Yankees get Bellinger? No, they haven't gotten Bellinger yet. Not yet. We're looking. I'm refreshing as much as you. I got a notification as well. But if we get a notification, we'll tell you. We'll tell you as soon as it comes down there. Wait, we got something from Jeff Passan. Let me see what's happening with Jeff Passan. Kyle Tucker's among the most unappreciative players in baseball. I agree with his statement there. He's very unappreciative. In 78 games last year, he put up a 4 WAR. He hit 289, 408, 585 with 23 home runs, 11 stolen bases since he's getting full-time at bats since 2021. He is a constant 5-win player. He is precisely what the Cubs needed. Yeah, he's the kind of player that would change a franchise. Happy that we got get the closer happy. We got Williams. Yeah, that's the guy we've coveted. We coveted him here for many years, and for 2 years now, we finally got him here. That's a good one. The Yankees pinstripe lore has taken a slight hit. The Yankees have no chance to fix that. Going to the World Series this year has helped. It has, but here's the thing where it diminishes, Austin. After that World Series was over, you had the Dodgers goofing or trolling the Yankees. They took, they won the World Series. They're the champions, but they took a lot of trolling. And then to pile it on top, Soto going to the Mets. I think that in a way, that's a blessing in disguise. Yes, as a Yankee fan and sitting in a sports bar or on content creating or on the train with your friends or just in general conversation, you got people to give you ammunition back. Oh, you're a Yankee fan, and they could goof on that. But here's the one thing: the blessing in disguise. It kind of given Hal Steinbrenner an awakening. Now you have to spend. You can't go by the interlocking NY is going to bring you all the players just because you have to now put the work in. And that's a blessing in disguise, Yankee fans. Paranoia in the funhouse. What's the Yankees' next move? If these moves happen, it will happen today. What do you think is going to happen? We're on there, man. Thank you for the sub, Paranoia Funhouse. Appreciate you. Welcome to the Sports Jedi Network. Oh, man, love your. Is that Iron Man? Or is it Iron House? Funhouse. Oh, it's Funhouse. Paranoia Funhouse. Sorry. I always like to look at the thumbnails and people's thumbnails. That's just a quirk I have. I really appreciate that. I think we get Bregman now. As much as I hate those 27 Astros, we need a third baseman. But here's the one thing that I'm worried, Mike Walker. I was saying it earlier with Bregman. I think Bregman could be a positive influence on the New York Yankees in the hitting aspect with the other players. Going to approach. He's a professional contact hitter, a good hitter. I think he'll help a guy like a Volpe, an Austin Wells, how to rub off those approach to the base, to the at bats, how to hit, not to change. I know the Yankees have a philosophy of the launch angles and all that other stuff. I think if you bring another set of ears and see guys with a resume to contact who doesn't swing and miss, could help the New York Yankees a la Wade Boggs. The only difference, Boggs was left-handed and they had the short foot, although Boggs wasn't a pull hitter. He was a slap hitter to go the opposite field. The only worry about Bregman is he's a major pull hitter in Yankee Stadium. If you're not Gary Sheffield to pull it, it's going to be tough. You're going to lose a lot of outs in left center in Death Valley. And that might not go well with Bregman. I don't want him to turn into Josh Donaldson. That's my only thing. But if you're a contact hitter and he's going the opposite way, you might benefit. So it's a catch-22. But Bregman also will help the Yankees in a big need. Because he's a natural third baseman. You move now Chaz Chisholm to second base. Now you have natural position players to go out there and play. You got Oswaldo Cabrera, who can move around as utility infielder, who could play all those different positions, third, second, when guys need a spell, a break at first base, left field. And Bregman is your natural third baseman. If it could work. It's going to cost money. Remember, the Yankees telling you that they spent $27 million for Max Fried, and now with Devin Williams, $8 million. Well, I'm going to round it up to 10, just for argument's sake, $37 million right now. They have invested. They have another, I believe, to be honest with you, I think they have another $15 to $20 million out there. They were willing to go 47 to 55 for Juan Soto for the 1 year AVA, or 51 million. I'm going on that. If they were to willing to go to 51 million AVA, then you take that 51 million or even 50 and divide it into how many players you could get for that 50. I think that's Cashman's budget for this year, or at least 45. I think that's the Yankees' budget for this year, and just because they're going to add players, but they're not going to go uber crazy to sign a lot of players just to sign players to overreact for the New York Mets. That's just my opinion on that there, guys. So we'll see there. Let me refresh this here if anything else has come up, because this is great. I love when the hot stove, and this is why I wait and I hesitate not to do a lot of Yankee content. I like to do the live games, of course, because they're live. You're getting something fresh in. I just don't want to go over with the overzealous clickbaiting. And because it gets redundant. Yes, it's great to talk to everyone who's a Yankee fan. I love that too. Other fellow Yankee fans. But when you have nothing to report and nothing's happening, it's tough to have a live stream to talk about, hypotheticals. I like when there's live stuff and we go right into it. We have a conversation and we see what's going on. And right now, Ruben Sierra, I got to give him credit on X. I follow Ruben Sierra. He's been on fire with his tweets with the baseball. Who made him a baseball insider? Pretty good one too. He says, I think they're dealing Bellinger to the Yankees. As long as the Yankees take on the salary, maybe a low-level prospect, it wouldn't make sense to give appeal. Of course, you don't give appeal for a Bellinger. Hell no. You will not do that. You give him up for a Tucker because Tucker is that type of player, but not for Luis, not for Bellinger. No, because that Cubs want to take salary. The Yankees could absorb that salary. Bregman is a good Gold Glove defender. I've heard how he is a base runner plus outside of 27. He has won another championship. Like I said, I like guys who want you. Absolutely. You got to bring in those guys that can win. You need to bring winners. And that's what and again, I know this is not George Steinbrenner's baseball team, may he rest in peace. But he likes winners. Remember his famous saying, you show me a loser and I'll show you a loser. If you show me a winner, I'll show you a winner. And he wants to be a winner. He likes winners. He likes to surround himself with winners. The one thing again, Bregman, just afraid of and it could be buyer's remorse from what we had with Donaldson, when we had with LeMahieu. LeMahieu was very good for 2 years. Unfortunately, the Yankees couldn't capitalize LeMahieu's I guess, I don't know, were they career years, Austin? LeMahieu's 2 years here, the first 2 years. I don't know if they were careers, but it's very good all-star potent years with the Yankees were kind of wasted with DJ LeMahieu. That home run in Houston, that at that moment you thought that he put the Yankees ahead, where Chapman gives up the bomb to Altuve, but it was DJ LeMahieu, I think, who put the Yankees up, and he was clutch in that postseason. Wasted, his valiant effort, and then of course the injuries and DH is catching up to him. But he might have a resurgence. Maybe the Yankees move him. They'll add a prospect to move his salary, to move it to a team, or just to move him and pay 65 cents on the dollar for a team to take the other 35 cents off the team, and that roster spot. The Yankees could get creative when they want to move a player. They'll move a player. That's why I don't put that past Brian Cashman, and when he wants to open up a roster spot and move a player, he's willing to do that. So we've seen that in the past. We've seen that with Brian Cashman. He's done that in the past. So I have no issues with him, as much as the Yankee fans dislike him at times. And listen, when that guy has open range and he's able to negotiate, and he has a budget that is where you could really buy some mean groceries, the guy could buy and could cook. And there's a reason why he's been a general manager for almost 20 years. He's it doesn't do it for he's not for his looks. He guy knows what he's doing. So there it is. DJ was clutch in the playoffs. His first 2 years were great for the team. Sucks, injuries ruined his career. Yeah, the injuries, and those are all injuries: foot, toes. Those things hurt. Those things hamper. Go and wake up and having plantar fasciitis playing baseball. That's a pain in the neck because you're moving. You're on your feet. 9 innings. You're 2.5, 3 hours. You're moving. You're dead. All those things hurt for DJ LeMahieu going forward. Again, maybe he's got something where he's probably got surgery done off the offseason. He didn't play much this year. Maybe he gets a resurgence in spring training if he's still on this team, and he could probably be a bench piece. Or could play. He could play first. He could play second. He could play third. And if he's on this team as a jack, on this team as a bench piece, you're not going to go wrong with a veteran DJ LeMahieu on this team. I mean, you're already paying him. He's already part of your budget. I wish he just recovers. We'll find out. Let me look again as we can. And Hot Stove is getting hot. We got some moves here on a Friday on what they call the news media dump day, where and the day after Juan Soto was announced in the Met uniform, putting on the Met jersey, we find out that this is one of the most dumbest report I heard on WFAN, that they had Dominican food. What is that? We all, Latinos eat the same thing, pretty much. I mean, Oh, City Field had Dominican food. I'm like, what? That sounded so dumb. I think in '86, the '96 team, we had 6 guys that won championship prior to that: Cone, Key, Gooden, O'Neal, Duncan. Yep. Don't forget about no. Box played in the World Series, but he did not win a World Series. You're right. Absolutely. Who else was in there? Yeah, those are the names. Those are the names, especially Paul O'Neill in that '90 World Series. They were against the odds. Paul O'Neill came over from the Reds. They beat the most shocking sweep in Major League Baseball, in my opinion. When I was at that time, when I was a kid, to see was the Athletics getting swept by the Cincinnati Reds. That team was really good. With a strong bullpen and a group of guys with good defense did beat the mighty offensive Oakland Athletics in the '90s World Series. Yeah, when you got a pitcher, who got hot in Jose Rios, you at the right time, kind of took a little bit of the Yankee blueprint from that Lou Piniella Cincinnati Reds. Yeah, and Jimmy Key, a crafty lefty there who came in here. Of course, David Cone was that big acquisition, that big fish, in the middle of the season, and of course Gooden, who was on a resurgent deal. Of course, Strawberry off the bench. Mariano Duncan. You play today, you win today, and that's it. He bought that veteran intangible. Part of that, Paul O'Neill ball club that won the World Series, that '90 Reds team. So yeah, that's a big one there. Big, absolutely big team there in 1996 that propelled the Yankees to start that dynasty. But it all started with a couple of moves there, changing the approach at the plate with a Wade Boggs, working the count, and rubbing off on players like a young Bernie Williams, who was a little bit lost at the plate, getting in under his wing, and helping Bernie Williams work the count. Then it just started working with Paul O'Neill as well, and so forth and so forth. And there we go, dynasty. All right, Biker Walker. Do you think we get Alonso? Got to be for a 2-year deal. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. That for cheap. That's what I mentioned earlier. I mentioned earlier. I don't mind rehashing again because that's what I like. I like when you guys bring questions. We'll have that. I love having that conversation. Because I know we're that's the way it's a two-way talk. I want to hear about you. Let's talk about it. Is with Pete Alonso. I kind of would like him to come here on a not approved. Like I compared it to a Michael Conforto. When he left the New York Mets, Conforto had nowhere really to go. The Giants signed him. I believe it was a 2-year deal. And he proved it. Now he's got a nice contract with the Dodgers. I kind of want to see that with Pete Alonso. Have him come here. I know he's older. He's looking for that security, long-term deal because he's not a young guy either. If you could get him on a 1-year, 2-year deal or 1-year option, and he could opt out after the year, if that means he's going to come to Yankee Stadium, and if he has a monster year, he could opt out and look for a bigger deal elsewhere, or I kind of would like that. Nothing big. Yeah, I'm with you. Nothing huge for Pete. Pete doesn't have to trade, doesn't have to change his home pretty much. He just got to change where he's going to go spring training. So, points, I know he's going to go to Tampa. I kind of would like to see that a little bit. But Pete Alonso gives me more vibes of a designated hitter. And again, when you have a Max Fried, who is a contact pitcher or a crafty lefty, and go forth, you kind of want to have a great defense. You want to have good defense. I think Christian Walker, with his Gold Glove prowess, seems a better fit for the Yankees. I know he's also a big right-hander, but his defensive metrics fits more of the Yankees to pick it and keep the runs down with saving errors. And Walker kind of fits a little more better than Alonso. Alonso is for the power hitting numbers, and you have Giancarlo Stanton, where especially when you have a Pete Alonso, you could kind of push him to the DH if he doesn't work out because he's not your homegrown. You could dictate to move a position. And I think it's more difficult for Alonso to be a Met designated hitter than if he was on the Yankees, if you understand what I mean, because he really didn't come up with the organization. You have to play what we tell you, rather than when you're a Met, he feels offended if he gets moved there. All right, let's see. Christian Walker, 2-3-year deal, way better. I agree with you on that. Christian Walker's a better. At this point, I kind of want defense. You got a hell of a pitching staff. I kind of want to go with defense. That's why, again, from the old St. Louis Cardinals days, from the Yankees, World Series. What wins up the middle? If you're strong defensively up the middle, you're gonna win a lot of ball games and put yourself in the World Series. Look at the Minnesota Twins. They were strong defensively up the middle. Those things. Baseball's still the same. You still have 4 balls for a walk. You have 3 outs, 27 outs, and all that cliche. At the end of the day, baseball's the same game. You still, regardless of what the analytics say, you still got to be strong defensively up the middle. You can't boot the baseball around. We saw that it cost us Game 5 in the World Series. You can't boot the baseball. You got to be sure-handed. You can't be playing out of position. Again, I've said that time and time again. I don't want to see my team guys experimenting with new positions. That's why I want to see Chad Chisholm move to second base. I want that third baseman. And I see us getting Bregman too. I mean, I don't know if that's going to cost us a lot of money with Bregman. He wants to get paid. I don't know if that's available. Hey, I'm all for it. I'm all ears. If the team is going to get defensively better, I definitely do. Definitely Walker over Alonso, but I think his homers will fit in the short right field. But here's the thing: Pete Alonso is not a pull hitter. It's not an opposite field hitter. Alonso is down to those pull hitter that fits more. Oh, Bregman's going to Detroit. That's off the. That's all AJ Hinch. You know what? And they've been so close. And that's if that's let me look at. I'm not saying that. You're not giving me the wrong information. I just want to see it from verify one more time, but that makes sense. That makes sense if Bregman goes to Detroit. AJ Hinch, and they were close. They could add a piece to that young team who had no free agents. They have no free agents. They're keeping much the whole team. If they want, they can move players for if they want to gather. If they wanted to make pitching, that's why. It's the White Sox. That's why White Sox and Detroit don't make no sense to make a trade. But if they want, Trey Sweeney came on, and that was our former shortstop. Trey Sweeney is a part of their organization. I heard AJ Hinch on MLB this morning on the leadoff spot on satellite radio talking, and they have no free agents whatsoever off the boards. Everyone's coming back, and they have a lot of players in extra position. They're minor league. They got players in the minor leagues that willing to come up. They could make a trade. Look for them to make a move if anyone's available for a deal. I'm surprised Tucker wasn't a name that wasn't Detroit wasn't a name that wasn't emerged as a place for him as well. We'll see now. Let me check out. I don't see John Heyman, but I go with Jeff Passett. Passett is one that's always on top of things. Where did you see the Bregman to the Detroit? I'm looking on that. I kind of want to make sure. Again. I'm not saying you're not. It could be a possibility. It does make sense. By you bringing that up, Vindicator, it does make sense. It does make sense for him to go to Detroit. Of course, but here's the one thing though: they got Javi Baez coming back from hip surgery. That's he's coming back from his surgery. I believe he's in his 30s. It'd be interesting to see. Let's go. It's your opinion. Got it. No. But you know what? When you bought Bregman to Detroit, it makes sense. It does make sense because they've got money. They've got a lot of young players. They could bring in a veteran defensive player and all-star like a Bregman to help that team get over the hump to win. No, that's a great name you put out there. Seriously, that's a really good team for a great name for that team. Perfect. I love that one. Love the thinking. I love the dialect, the conversation there. That was really good there. Let me have a drink. That was a really good one. I'm very impressed with that one. I didn't think that's outside the box thinking. I love it. As we look, and we'll see what else is going on because it's going to get quick. And I'm surprised all these moves are coming after the winter meetings. Maybe they spoke about these deals and they went back to their prospective clubs with their scouting departments, some places analytics. They started putting names out there. They got on the whiteboard. This is the time where organizations make their money or their landscape of the year, and they went that. No, it's not. It's not official, John. That's a name that was thrown out, a report there that just throwing out there as hypothetical, which made a lot of good sense. Steve, what's going on? Kevin always says Soto to the Mets. Yankees in big trouble until free agency next year offensively. No, I don't think the Yankees are in big trouble, Steven. I think the Yankees could make a couple tweaks here. Remember, here's the one thing, Yankee fans, remember this. The Yankees won 100 plus games before without Soto. They still finished over 500 without Juan Soto. They still won the American League division without Juan Soto. The fact that, yes, his offensive presence and what he brought to the team, his intangibles, are going to be missed. Yes, absolutely. But they weren't a team that was missing the postseason, or the year before won 101 games and then got their manager fired the year following, and then they needed a purple McDonald character to get them going, or a reggaeton song to get them going. This team has been a consistent model of winning, regardless of the fact that we don't think they got to the World Series, or they only make it to the divisional series, or they got swept in the ALCS a couple times, or they just can't get the World Series. They were still in winning position. It sucks that we didn't get, again, it sucks that Soto, generational type of talent player, goes away from the fringe stripes, but they're not going to be a 68 win team or a 72 win team. They're still a 90 plus win team, top of the American League East division. Yeah. We're definitely not in trouble. Our pitching is very good. Our pitching is solid. Our pitching is very sturdy. It's extremely well. And here's the great thing about it, Mike Walker. Garrett Cole, if he has a step back or leans back, if Cole is going back, you have Heel ascending, Clark Schmidt ascending, two young players. Max Fried, if he gives you even Steven, you take that. Or if he even excels in New York, this is his first year, and then Rodon doesn't have to be your number 2. He could pitch like a number 4, or throw, he doesn't have to, my point is, he doesn't have to have that pressure that I have to justify my contract with the Yankees and go out there and be perfect. Just go out there and pitch, guy. Go out there and pitch, keep the team in. Trust it. That's why I want a defensive team. Keep the ball in play. The defense will pick it, get you out, give us some innings. The offense will hit, and we'll get you some wins where we get a closer. If we take the lead, you'll get us to a path to victory. Give us a good quality start. That's what we're asking for Rodon. And, he doesn't have to put that pressure on him. That's why I kind of like that with the pitching, like you said. All this pitching. The best thing that happened to the Yankees was not, because they would have been tied up with so much money, and then we could hear the front office leaning back and saying, "Well, we give you all this money, we can't spend. We signed the player you wanted. It just hampers us, financially. We got." And I didn't want to hear that later down the road. And I'm glad, that they're doing these moves here. Soto has one tool. Soto's a phenomenal hitter. Soto's a phenomenal hitter who and defensively wasn't so good. He's okay defensively. Wasn't so good. He was okay. I'm definitely not glad Soto rejected our offer. He just didn't give the Yankees to challenge. Give me an update on Bellinger. No updates yet. No updates, John. I wish I could. I haven't seen anything. Trust me, I'm refreshing as we speak. How much would you give, bro? I think it's not money, Mike. I don't think it's money. I think he's a free agent where I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, if you're listening to me in the chat, or Austin, for when it comes to Roki, he's a free agent, but it's not that posting fee like the normal players that they would have waited out in Japan. I think it's just he could pick any of the major league franchise he wants, and I think it's a set salary, like a rookie contract type of deal, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for him, for the young player. So that means anyone's in play. If he really wanted to go small market, he could end up on the Tampa Bay Rays. Seriously, I'm not joking. If he wanted to choose for the Rays, he could go to the Rays with that. So I don't know. Next stream I do, which there's going to be more news. I will be doing a little more Yankee stream from here on out. I would definitely do my homework on him and what does it take for him to get there. Here we go. Austin's got it. It won't cost much. It's kind of like a rookie contract. Yeah. Yep. Rookie deal. Anyone who signs him for 6 years of team control. Yeah. So he's got to go to a team that he wants. And I think Vindicator, you mentioned LA or San Diego might be a place for him. And you might be right. Because I know you mentioned it earlier because of that, because of the team control. If he doesn't like it, he's closer to Japan. There's more of a community, a Japanese community closer there in those cities, or in Seattle, where he's not gonna feel too homesick if he goes to the big city, New York. So he might. So I heard somewhere have to play in the minors. That's why if it was him, and I know, because I don't want to sound like we're a Yankee homer, Yankees make sense because they got look at the starting pitching they have currently right now, where you, like I mentioned earlier, they could send them to the minor league, work them in the system, work the Yankees minor league system, get them going. And then if the Yankees need a starter for, let's say, someone is going to miss a start and they need to bring in a starter, if he's ready, they could bring him up. He could be one of the first names to get an opportunity to start, and so forth. And look, and we were talking about all these different pitchers. We didn't even talk about Marcus Stroman. And I know someone thought that Marcus Stroman might be moved, might not be moved. Now with Nestor Cortez be moved, I think they'll hold on to Stroman. I don't know if he's going to get moved. I don't think he's going to go back to the Cubs for Bellinger. And I'm not saying that's the name that's going to go for Bellinger. I mean, they could add that there and so forth. But what I like about that, we have pitching. Stroman, this could be a number 5. Rodon is a 4. You could put Schmidt as a 3. And you got Heal, Freed, and even Cole. So look at to the embarrassment of riches the Yankees have. Just because you have these amount of pitchers doesn't mean you go move them right away. Like, you go, oh yeah, we got so much, we're gonna. Here's the thing: you never have enough pitching. You can never have enough pitching. Especially the way the manager. And I got through it out without mentioning the manager. I am not Yankee fans that are listening to me for the first time. I am not a Aaron Boone fan. I don't like the way he manages. I think he's another big reason why I was thankful to take a little bit of break from the Yankees too, because I don't like the way he managed. I don't like the way he runs the bullpen. He's not, to me, he's not the type of manager who knows how to manage a bullpen. That's the one worry I have is him. But here's the one thing I got to give him credit and flowers. Players love playing for him. No matter what, the team loved playing for him. Players love playing for him. Although, we'll find out what other stuff comes out of Soto's big mouth later down the road, because he doesn't seem, he didn't even. But the point is, people like him. I'm not a big fan of managerial moves, the way he handles the bullpen. The way he runs out and get the pitchers, so yada yada, all that stuff. I'm not a big fan of him, especially when guys are. And I know that comes from the collaboration from the analytics department. When a guy is hot, the next day he's gonna be off. They're gonna keep him off and bench him. All that stuff. That's my one little bit minor concern, but that's just another story for another day. They might move Stroman to the bullpen. Yeah, but here's the thing: is Stroman gonna be a model citizen to want to go to the bullpen? Be honest with you, the one that looks like won't give the Yankees issues if they ask him, hey, we're going to put you in the bullpen, is Clark Schmidt. I think if Schmidt did tell him he's going to the bullpen, I don't think he'll give the Yankees gripe or agita to go pitch in the bullpen, rather than Marcus Stroman could be a disgruntled player if they ask him, no, you're going to start in the bullpen, you don't have a bullpen, you don't have a starter spot. Because here's the thing. If Stroman fails as a starter or doesn't do his thing, it's justifiable for him to go to the bullpen, where he's got to zip his lip and go to the bullpen because he stunk as a starter, rather than the opposite. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. But hopefully Stroman matures too. Hope he grows up. This is pretty much it for him. If he doesn't mature, if he gives the Yankee problem, which I think he really likes playing for the Yankees, but his behavior wise, I don't think he's going to be too much of a disruptor in the team. Personally, I don't know. I'm big on Stroman. I don't. Here we go. Another reason I like Freed and Williams coming to the Yankees. They have a good pitching coach in Mac Blake. Absolutely. They're going to see something there different. The only thing I don't like from Matt Blake, they rely too much on the slider. I'm not a big slider guy. I think that pitch fails pitchers in the biggest point in their careers in the ALA World Series. You guys, John Rocker, you guys, Mike Wallers, you guys, Aroldis Chapman. That pitch always, when it's, you could talk about the splitter, but when the Yankees win a lot of World Series on the Stoudemire, Mel Stoudemire, it was that splitter, that fork splitter. I'm a big proponent on that. I don't like the slider, especially, you know why? Because in the cold weather, you're trying to throw a slider and your hands are cold and a little bit numb. You don't got the feel to it. In the summertime, it looks phenomenal. It's great because your little your little sweaty perspiration. You can grab it, grip it. In the cold, your fingertips a little numb, cold. And when you wanted to get that spin rate on the spinner, you might not have that same feel in your hands out there, and you tend to hang it. You tend to hang it when in a splitter you're gripping it, and the way you grab you open your hands, you let it just drop down. And there's so many different things I kind of like. That's why I'm not a big splitter, slider type of guy. Walker Buehler loves to pitch when it's cold. I think Walker Buehler is going to go to the Mets. I don't think he don't fit the Yankees. The Yankees got too many pitching, so I don't think the Yankees are in luxury for another starter. Walker Buehler, I think he'll go to the Mets. I think the Mets need pitching, but they'll probably should. I think he'll show up with the Mets. Don't be surprised if the Red Sox get him. Now, the team that I'm surprised I had as a dark horse. I told Chris the Flash I had as a dark horse for Juan Soto. Believe it or not, was the Baltimore Orioles. I thought the Orioles were going to be on the Soto sweepstake. He still has a home in the Virginia, area there by Washington. I thought the Orioles was going to be on the Juan Soto sweepstake. They got new ownership. They're supposedly had an influx of money, and Corbin Burns is still out there as a free agent, hasn't signed. Again, not interested. The Yankees, no thank you. They got Max Fried. They called both of them. I'm surprised he hasn't signed with anyone yet. He's been a phenomenal player, Corbin Burns. Maybe the years that he wants and his age. And I don't know, I don't know the Mets because the general manager doesn't value the pitching, and I'm surprised because he was his former GM in the Brewers in Milwaukee, and for the Mets not even to have conversation with Corbin Burns, kind of surprised. And the Orioles didn't rush back to get him. This guy's a good pitcher. I guess they're waiting for him to bring his price tag down for Corbin Burns. I see. I guess that's what is out there. Reds. He's from Kentucky. His team was the Reds when he was a kid. For Buehler is a vindicator for Buehler. I mean, the Reds. Look, Cincinnati. If they were to spend a few dollars here with Terry Francona, they get him a veteran pitcher like a Buehler to help with that team. That's another one. Remember, this is the first year of Terry Francona with the Cincinnati Reds. He's a winner. That guy's a winner. That manager's a winner. I'm sorry. Terry Francona is a winner. When you talk about manager who could change things around, that's a guy. Cincinnati's going to be good. They're going to be good. They're not going to take long to be good again. They're going to be good. They're going to be a really good team there in that division there. Now, I believe Stearns drafted Burns too. So then he knows something that he knows something, either that or because I'm surprised with the money that the Mets have and the lack of and a position that they need is starting pitching. He's a name that I'm surprised hasn't been linked to the Mets, or the Mets haven't even had a conversation with him. Although Minaya hasn't had a conversation with anyone either. And Minaya had a hell of a season with the Mets. He pitched really strong with the Mets this year, and I knew he could do it in New York. I was a big proponent. If you know me, I wanted Minaya with the Yankees instead of Frankie Montas. When the Athletics were putting out those two names out there for pitching, I was like, why are we going? We should go get Minaya, not Montas. And I said it on my stream. My videos I love about YouTube. The videos are stamped with everything that comes out of your mouth. And I mentioned that I wanted Sean Manaea for the Yankees many years ago because he fits the Yankees build. The stadium. He's a left-handed pitcher. But the Mets, what a good year he had with the Mets. I don't know. Maybe he's going to make. He passed up on $25 million from qualifying offer. So I don't know if he's going to make. He's probably going to make Max Fried money, but maybe not the long, not the 8-year deal. Probably he's going to get somewhere $25 million for no, $28 million for 3 years, whatever that is, with an option. Whatever team picks him up, for that, and Burns looks like he's like $35 million a year. I think that was his asking price for him. And I don't know if the team is willing to go. I mean, they'll probably end up getting a team who's desperate, 32 years out, $32 million a year. Will the San Francisco Giants? Hey, you got the Dodgers there. Go get Corbin Burns. You got Willie Adames. Go get Corbin Burns. Put him in there. The Giants should go get Corbin Burns. Put him back. Get him back in the National League. Get him out of the Orioles. Go to the Giants. Give him a few years there with Willie Adames. Now you're building. The Giants got a lot of money that they wanted to spend. Go get yourself a pitcher. You got yourself a nice pitcher there. Let's see. You lost Blake Snell. Replace him now with Corbin Burns, who could probably give you more innings than Snell. Appreciate it, Parano. Appreciate it. And look, I haven't done a baseball hot stove in a long time. So, and the fact that you have a lot of people on the chat tells me we're going to be doing more baseball. And hopefully this time the Morning Brew don't poach my subscribers. All right, so let me take a quick look. I can stay on because I gotta go. I have to stay out for another half hour tops because I have another stream tonight. We have a double streaming tonight of wrestling. So we do. And by the way, just give you an insight on our channel. I do a lot of watch longs. I do a lot of basketball watch longs, Knicks centric. Of course, we do WWE, NXT, TNA wrestling watch along. We got Saturday night's main event tomorrow night. We got wrestling tonight. Of course, we do NFL football. We do some NHL hockey, Rangers, and we do a little bit of everything. So we do a little bit of all that stuff. But right now the wrestling is on fire. We've been doing a lot of WWE, and of course we got tonight with myself. We got Miss Canary coming on. She's going to be doing some TNA with us. We're going to have the TNA pay-per-view. We got SmackDown. It's Saturday night's main event tomorrow night. Knicks basketball Sunday. Of course, they take on the Orlando Magic in my city, by the way, in Orlando. They'll be here. No tickets for me. I'll be doing the games here. And, of course, Monday Night Raw, of course. And then we'll do some more baseball. We'll do some more baseball as the news comes out. We'll, instant live reaction, and we'll talk about it when it's Yankee baseball. And we'll do a little Mets. I don't hate the Mets. I kind of like the Mets the Mets haven't done anything to beat the Yankees. They just signed Juan Soto. Wow, big deal. They haven't done anything really to hurt the and I'm not a Met hater. I like the Mets as long as they stay in the lane, they're fine. Not a big one. Ron, what's going on? Ronald, salute. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see from you. Talk to me about what do you talk to me? Let's talk about the Yankees or baseball in general. Want to hear your thoughts here. What's going on in Major League Baseball? These hot stove predictions or hot stove rumblings, moving transactions, all that good stuff. Man, the insiders are going crazy with all these insights. The phone calls are back and forth. Their Bluetooth's got to be charged. Their batteries. So wow, this is a good time. And you know what? Compared to the last few years with baseball, this MLB free agency is moving pretty fast. It's moving quick. It's not like that slow, methodical free agency that we had 2 years ago, last year too, where Boris took it on the chin with guys signed late and, no movement. I loved it. Yes, they traded for the closer. The Yankees, okay, let me reset here. The Yankees traded Nestor Cortez, Caleb Durham for Devin Williams, the all-star closer for the Milwaukee Brewers. So now he is a New York Yankee. He is under control to 2026. He will be a free agent in 2026. Estimated $8.6 million a year for him. I don't know if he's going to arbitration now so I say let's round it up to $10 million or even 12 for Williams if he pitches for the Yankees next year. So the Yankees got themselves an all-star closer. It cost them Nestor Cortez. They have a plethora of arms. The Caleb Durham, you never know what he's going to be. There was high hopes of him being a third baseman for the Yankees or second baseman. He's 5'6". It doesn't mean anything. Altuve is an all-star at 4. But he was the main chipper that got the Brewers invested to want to go get the young talent. Nestor Cortez is going into his free agency year. That's another one, because Nestor Cortez, if he balls out, and you know how pitchers do well before they go on that all-star making that bag. If Nestor Cortez have a great year for the Brewers, and the Brewers are not in it, they can always move them in the trading deadline and get more prospects. So that's a win-win for the Brewers small market team. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Thank you. Doing well. Doing excellent here. We got a closer now, and the team is rounding into some shape. It's not all bleak. It's not all gloom. After losing Juan Soto, you're getting some movements to shore the team in areas that we had deficiencies in. It's not there yet. We're not fully loaded. We're not world beaters quite yet, but we're getting there. We're filling the cupboard. We're investing in the team in what winning baseball again, which is pitching, and of course on the front end and the back end of the staff, which is great. And now you're putting players in position where they're comfortable and they're going to be suited to play their best capable defense. So I love it. I love it. Yes, I'm on X. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on X. I'm on Jeff Passan. I'm gonna be honest with you. Jeff Passan, John Heyman. Those are the guys that I like to rehash, look at them, anything happens with them, because those are the most credible guys. You're right. Yeah. That's why I'd say those names. You got to make sure they're verified. Make sure they have the blue or the yellow check mark. And just look at their history on tweets, because some of these mirror accounts or parody accounts they could fool you like this. They could fool you easily, and you're out there spewing wrong information, and then you're out there clickbaiting, and then you call yourself 161 River Avenue, and I don't want to do that. All right, so we're waiting to see. We're looking here, the Athletic tends to be a little late with their information. Let's see what else is going on. I like the Athletic. But they're a little late with their information. They and then people already know, and by the way, I don't want to be the first person to run out there and say, oh, I said it first. Who gives who gives? Who cares if you're the first, as long as you have the conversation with people. You could be the first one no one watches or no one hears, or just, if you just have that conversation and give your instant reaction on what happens, I think that, to me, I'm satisfied with that. I don't need to be the first one to break the news. What am I going to get, a Twitter trophy? Come on. Come on. I'm not going to get a Twitter trophy for me. Oh, I had it first. Yeah. Ken Rosenthal. Yeah, I forgot about Ken. Joe Sherman at times. Yeah, they're solid. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you did. Who do you want at second base? Personally, I told you I want Chisholm at second. I want him to move from third to second base. That's his natural position. Paranoia. That's his natural position where he's not going to make error. He's comfortable. When he's comfortable defensively and he's playing the field smooth, guess what? He's not overthinking it at the plate either. So he's going to be himself, aggressive Chisholm, who could hit the ball, who's a contact, who when he's on, he could be an all-star. I kind of want him to be playing normal in his normal position. That's why I'm a big proponent of getting guys to play in their normal positions. Unless if they volunteer that they want to move for the better of the team, like he did for the Yankees, I appreciate that. But if he's an opportunity for return in his normal position where he's going to play good defense, I want that. That's what I want. I want them to be there so they can excel in all areas of the game of baseball, not just one. Who's the player not being talked about that could end up with the Yankees that no one's really talking about? That's a great question. I'm gonna contemplate on that. Who do you got at third base now? Right now it's Chisholm. Right now, Chisholm and LeMahieu. Right now, if the baseball season started today, it's going to be either one or the other. I know you have Oswaldo Cabrera, who at the beginning of the year looked like he was going to take that third base position. Remember when he started off in Houston, he was on fire offensively. Then he fizzled out a little bit. I wish Oswaldo Cabrera would be just turn into an everyday player, but he's just a really good serviceable player for the Yankees. I kind of like his at bat, his demeanor. I like Jorge Polanco or something. Is he still in the league? Let me look at the free agents. No, I got the list here. I got the list here. I'm going to give you the names of the free agency for the first baseman. This is reported by MLB.com. So this is from the MLB.com. The first baseman, you got Christian Walker, of course, that we were talking about him. Of course, Pete Alonso, Carlos Santana, but he's 39 years old. You know, you don't want to go, yeah, he's old. Yeah, there you go. You beat. I'm saying his name and we're speaking about it. There you go. There we go. He is a little older. Santana. You got Paul Goldschmidt. Boy, if Goldschmidt was 5 years younger, that's the guy that would make sense. Goldschmidt is a beast. Underrated player who played in a small market, but that guy was a beast. I mean, in his prime, Goldschmidt, man, I was like, wow. Justin Turner, he's 40 years old. These guys are all over the hill. They're not over the hill, but for baseball terminology, for the way the Yankees need, they need somebody younger and durable. Joey Gallo, no way, no thank you. I'm surprised they list him as a first baseman. He should be. Joey Gallo should be bringing the Gatorade to the clubhouse. Connor Joe, Rizzo's 35. Patrick Wisdom, Ty France, Josh Bell. I know the Yankees flirted with him as a trade. Uriel Gurriel, 41 years old. G-Man Choi, 34. Ronnie Taveras, no thank you. Gavin Sheets, and of course that's the first. That is thoughts on Jonathan Loaizaga signing. I like it. Loaizaga, I like it because here's the one thing, Austin, about Loaizaga for the 1 year deal. He's always injured. Jonathan Loaizaga is always injured, and you know that he has a lot of upside. You know, when he's on, he's a hell of a reliever for the New York Yankees, but he gets that injury bug on him. And 1 year deal on a prove it, he does that. Why not? Here's a name that I wish the Yankees would have done this kind of deal and re-signed and brought back was Chad Green. Oh, no, is it? No, not Chad. Is it Green? Yeah, Chad. Is it Green though? The kid. I wish that looked like David Cone. I wish they would have brought him back. He's still pitching in the league. All right, let me look at the. If we don't get Walker, I say pick up the old player, 1 or 2 year deal. Ben Rice will be ready. I think Ben Rice is a catcher, though. I think Ben Rice, his natural position is catcher. He just moved to first base for, again, another player moving position. But you could do that when you're in the minor leagues. But of course, we've seen plenty of times the guys come up as catchers and they end up being third, left field, or first base. They'll move around in the infield. Hey, Jorge Posada was a second baseman turned catcher. Let's see what other names out there. Here's a name that no one talks about. Yohan Moncada. He's 30 years old. Yohan Moncada, I know he's felt down in favor with the White Sox. Change the scenery maybe for Yohan. Anyone has any interest? Chad Green, yeah. There you go. Chad Green, I was surprised they didn't sign him. I thought he'd do because he had that Tommy John. He came out of the Yankees. He had Tommy John surgery. The Yankees, I think, let him go. They didn't resign him, and the Rays picked him up. I believe was it the Rays or the Blue Jays? And now look at him. He recovered. And he's an arm I kind of miss. I like Chad. I like the Chad Green. I thought he was really good. There's some names out there, of course. J.D. Davis, no thank you. John Birdie was on this team. He's 35 years old. It's not going to return. Gio Urshela, 33 years old. That's the name I don't want the Yankees to bring back. I like Gio Urshela, the happy fella, but now no, it's not. Mm-mm. And Luis Suarez. Surprised he hasn't. I'm surprised, man. I'm surprised that. I'm looking at some names. Jason Hayward, no thank you. Mike Tuchman, the Sockman, he's signed already. He's gone off the board. No, nothing to write home about. Teoscar Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez is 32 years old. I thought he was older. I thought Teoscar was like 35 years old, guys, but he's only 32 years old. I kind of liked him many years ago. Now I think not a big fan of him right now. That's it. Unless it, and and I know you mentioned a name that we haven't seen that could end up the Yankees that we don't see right now. Um, and I hate to, it would have been someone on the Rays, but the Rays won't really don't hardly deal too much with the Yankees like that this close. That's someone on the Rays. Yeah, not a fan of us bringing back players. I like fresh. Yeah, I like fresh starts too. I kind of like fresh starts. I don't want to bring in there. Terry Edwards like Bellinger. Yeah, we do like Bellinger. We're waiting. We keep refreshing X, all the baseball insiders, Terry, to see if that trade or that move is done. Because the Tucker, when they started talking about it, went quick. We heard it. They've been rumoring about it or in talks, and then when they said things are heating up, it got hot quick. So so we're keeping an eye now. When things, it seems like this baseball season, hot stove. When things get quick, it gets quick. Here's John Heyman, and let's go. Okay, here's from John Heyman. Here's a report from Heyman. The Yankees did not want to part with both Luis Gil and Jorge Lombardi Jr. in the package for Tucker. They view Gil as a number one starter. Never got especially close. So the Yankees and the Astros never got close on the deal, which it figured they weren't going to be dance partners with each other because of the animosity stuff. Especially the Astros wanted Luis Gil and Jorge Lombardi Jr., which he's a name that's a couple years away that the Yankees are high on for Lombardi Jr. I'm surprised. I'm glad that didn't happen. So that's not going anywhere. That deal didn't go. Yandy Diaz, yeah, there you go. Third baseman Yandy Diaz. I would love to see that. I don't know if the Rays will part, especially where now they're, maybe you never know. I mean, they're pretty much right now stadiumless. There's even talks of them being relocated, like moving out of the state of Florida, Tampa. Because they're not going. They're years away from their own stadium being done, and the Trop is going to cost almost $60 million to get acclimated, to get even fixed, and they don't want to spend it. It's Tampa right now is in some trouble. I mean, personally, they should have moved them to Orlando when they had a chance years ago. I mean, for selfish reasons, I wanted to see them in Orlando. I live in Orlando, but I'm surprised. I'm surprised there. Oh, he's a shortstop second. He's an infielder, Mike Walker. They asked what position Lombardi Jr. plays. He's an infielder. They say he's a shortstop right now, but or third baseman. But we'll see where he fits out. To me, he's a 6'2" kid, 190 pounds, 200 pounds. We'll see if he fits into a third baseman or shortstop. He's a big prospect there for him. Let's see. He bats right, throws right, so we'll see where he fits. Where right now where he gets in his minor league stats. Let me give him his stats. So he's played a little bit of the infield position, no third, or second, or short. Let me see his minor league stats. Right, let me pull him up here. He's from Pinecrest, Florida, Austin. He's close from us. He's here. All right, last year played 2 leagues. Yankees 13 games, 58 plate appearances, 45 at bats, 9 runs, 14 hits, 2 doubles, 6 RBIs, and for one team, the other team 9 at bats. He just got people already mad at Cashman for not doing it. I'm seeing comments on it for what, the Tucker deal, Paranormal. If the Astros and the Yankees didn't want to work things out, they didn't want to get it. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Here's one thing that you're gonna learn from me when you watch along or you listen to my stream. Sometimes I keep a little too long. If the girl doesn't want to kiss you, you can't force yourself to kiss the girl. And that's what's going on with the Yankees. If the Astros didn't want the kiss from Cashman couldn't give her the kiss. That's how it goes. To keep the PG. Simple as that. Exactly. You can't You can't. That's the Yankees, were they interested in Tucker? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, here you go. Here's a statement from Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman said that he had many conversations with the Astros about Tucker. At the end of the day, I'm glad Mr. Tucker is not in the American League. It's not, but it's a big get for the Cubs. The people are always good. We're in a contrarian world. People will get upset at anything. If it's raining outside, they'll tell you it's sunny. If it's sunny outside, they'll tell you it's raining. Vice versa. People are going to be contrarian no matter what. Look, there would have been people upset if the Yankees would have signed Juan Soto. There would have been a litany of people. Oh, it's typical Yankees. Oh, now we're going to sign nobody. That you cannot make everyone happy. You cannot appease everyone. That's why you have to wait and let the actions on the field speak for itself. But at least we're getting some reports as we're on the air. Yeah, it's good that he left the American League. Absolutely. Now we don't have to deal with him in the postseason. Now when we deal with them, we have to deal with them in interleague play, and that's it. And now you know what? Now another bat for the Mets to try to get out against the Cubs. It's the way I see it. All right, let's see. We're going to go on for another 5 minutes, guys. Another 5 minutes because dinner's ready, and of course I have to come back on in 2 hours, 3 hours from now. Let me refresh one more time here, see what we're going on. I know there was some talks, which is not going to happen. The Yankees are not going to take that salary for for Correa. I don't see that. Yeah, I was surprised how many major league players in the minors came from Florida. Yeah, this is a hotbed. Either they went raised, went to high school here. Yeah, Lombardi was from here, Pinecrest. Pinecrest, Florida. I mean, it's nice and warm. You go to the park all the time. You go always practice your fielding. You could be looking for you. Yeah, that's right. We got another 5 more minutes to wrap up. I appreciate it. Hit that notification bell. You can always follow me on X. You can follow me on X because you can always reach out to my DM. Hey, you haven't done a Yankee stream. You haven't done a Yankee. Just tweet at me. Yeah, and I'm gonna put there. Follow me on X here. And of course, that's where you can find me on X. If you definitely there, I'm always on X posting. You always can find me there. You can follow me on all my social media platforms as well as here. You know, always leave a comment. I always respond to my comment. That's also my email address. You just have to put gmail.com. You can always email me at bsjedi76@gmail.com. And of course, always respond immediately, of course, because that's where we like. Also, usually I have Chris the Flash. Please check out Chris the Flash channel. Chris the Flash, SHY. Of course, he also does some Yankee video content as well. The only really guy that really supports and backs me up when it comes to Yankee content is Chris. That's the one. Everyone else, they is the one true guy. Check out Chris the Flash. You'll see him here at times. He's working today, but he normally does night streams where I'm normally an early guy. So we kind of yin and yang when it comes to the Yankee stuff, but we'll get you covered. Chris the Flash, I'm pretty sure you'll have a reaction video tonight when he comes out of work about the Yankees, about all the stuff here. Please check him out and tell him I send you, because he knows Chris the Flash will know that I've sent you. He does the same thing. What a great guy. That the only one, again, one of the few that pushes or promotes the channel, gets us over in the wrestling terms. Chris the Flash, definitely want to make sure he gets some follows and some love as well. All right, so guys, we're gonna call it a night here for now. Let me give it one more refresh because I kind of want to keep going, but I got to come back on and have a conversation. I got the hot stove conversation talk going. I like it when we go on, and I love it when we are putting some names out there and spitballing and becoming GMs here and trying to help the Yankees get to ultimate goal is becoming a really good baseball team that we enjoy and play fundamentally and be proud to rock the interlocking NY, like I like to call say, and have fun with that. But right now, I like where we're going. If there's more news, if there's any news while the wrestling is going on, I don't have to work tomorrow. I'm off. I'll definitely I'll make a night stream. If not, I'll join Chris. We'll collaborate and we'll do something, Chris, together tonight. If the Yankees make another move, if there is a move for Bellinger, we'll be definitely guarantee you sweet bottom. I'll be back on to speak about that and all that stuff. So appreciate it. Please follow us. Check us out. Of course, myself. If you follow me on X, you'll find out all the information on the description. If you're here on the YouTube channel, I'll try to put a new video or just to where you can find us. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, man. You're watching us on Twitch, Instagram, Trubo, Rumba. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Also on the audio platform. We'll put this on the audio platform. Brandon Schultz is in the building. Brandon, Brandon is a Houston Astros. He's a big guy. Always follows us here. He's been on he's been following my channel for almost 2 years now. Brandon, appreciate him a lot. Big Astro fan. Always says hello, and I love it. He's a great dude. I wanted to give him a shout out. Tucker gone, Brandon. I know you must be hurting a little bit. Yes, hopefully there is some news. I'll see you guys tonight. So again, guys, I'm gonna have dinner. Gotta get back on. We'll see you next time. Really appreciate everyone. Again, man, you guys were awesome. It made it fun. And let me give you the outro. We'll see you next time.